It's often said that women have a tendency to apologize too much. Well, sorry, but that's not the case for these filmmakers. I'm Jessica Kiang, film critic and woman in roughly that order, and I'm here to take you through just a few of the unapologetically great movies available on Prime Video that are directed by women. A single mother, a troubled boy, and a pop-up book that won't stop popping up. Jennifer Kent's debut, The Babadook, is one of the most resonant and haunting horror movies of recent years. Led by a scorching Essie Davis and co-starring a shadowy figure in a stovepipe hat who may just be the embodiment of ferocious, unexamined grief, this is horror at its most thoughtful. But it never forgets to be terrifying, so be prepared. Once you take a look, you'll never get rid of the Babadook. So there's horror, and there's being in your mid-20s in the midst of a messy breakup horror. Desiree Akhavan's frank and funny first film, Appropriate Behaviour, casts Akhavan herself as a bisexual Iranian Brooklynite trying and failing to get over her ex-girlfriend, while also trying and failing to come out to her parents.
Mom, I'm a little bit gay.
No. Misty.
Sending up heartbreak and hipster excess equally.
John, show her your chest tattoo.
It's a masterclass in learning how not to apologize for who you are, while also not taking yourself too seriously.
I filled this water bottle with tequila.
I see.
But what about when life gets serious? Nia DaCosta, who directed the upcoming Candyman remake and will next deliver Captain Marvel 2, serves up a tough-minded, intimate, superbly performed drama with Crossing the Line, in which Tessa Thompson and Lily James play sisters walking the perilous poverty line in depressed small-town America. Sometimes described as a modern Western, often the most masculine of environments, it locates that frontier mentality instead in its desperate but resourceful female leads, because sometimes a woman's gotta do what a woman's gotta do.
You knew what I meant when I said I'd figure it out.
Other times, though, men have to howl in anguish while shooting guns in the air. Long before she became the first and currently only woman to win the Best Director Oscar, original gangster Kathryn Bigelow made the young, dumb, and full of fun Point Break, in which a bank-robbing gang led by Patrick Swayze's surf guru,
that's Bodhi. They call him the Bodhisattva,
are pursued by FBI agent Keanu Reeves. If you like your action immersive and your gay subtext not very subtextual,
I know it's hard for you, Johnny. I know you want me so bad it's like acid in your mouth.
This preposterously enjoyable movie delivers on all counts, with its cast of very handsome, very fit, and very wet men. In Julia Hart's drier I'm Your Woman, it is eventually a woman pulling the trigger. Rachel Brosnahan, playing a different kind of marvelous to her Mrs. Maisel, is a young mother forced to go on the run with her infant child when her husband's criminal lifestyle endangers them. Hart puts a usually peripheral character, the gangster's mole, at the center of the action.
That he's a thief? That he steals for a living? Yes, I know what Eddie is.
Then you know what's going on.
And we get to witness her dramatic transformation from frightened, lonely dependent to avenging, fiercely protective heroine, gun in one hand, baby in the other. It proves that strength of character is not necessarily a quality we are born with. And in Garrett Bradley's sublimely moving documentary Time, we watch it being won the hard way, in real life.
I met my husband Robert when I was 16 years old.
Against a swirling, jazz-inflected soundtrack, Bradley teams with her unforgettable subject, Fox Rich, to deliver one of 2020's greatest films, telling the true story of Rich's 20-year campaign for the release of her incarcerated husband, what it has given her in self-worth.
While incarcerated, my prayer was that upon my release from prison, God would allow me to use my voice for the voiceless.
The love of her children and the respect of her community, and what it has taken from her in time. And in fiction, no one evokes the passage of time and the heartache it can bring better than French director Mia Hansen-Løve in her shimmering, pulsating 2014 title, Eden. You don't have to have been part of its immaculately recreated Paris club scene of the early 2000s to relate, almost painfully, to her breathtaking, beat-dropping observations about the way youth will end.
It has to end sometime.
La Dolce Vita is over.
Don't say that.
No matter how much you and Daft Punk don't want it to. Of course, some endings are more brutal than others. In You Were Never Really Here, Joaquin Phoenix's bruised and broken hitman delivers death at the point of a hardware store hammer. But director Lynn Ramsey's weapon of choice is a scalpel, slicing down and reassembling this rescue and revenge plot until it's an almost unrecognizably artful, deconstructed crime thriller that in a lean 89 minutes still somehow finds time for the polishing of mom's silverware, the crushing of a jelly bean, and a quick sing-along while bleeding out on a kitchen floor. Thrillers and horrors, brash action films and heartfelt dramas, insightful documentaries and spiky comedies. Considering there are not enough women directing, they sure do get around. And if you're as drenched in enthusiasm for this list as I hope you are, there's so much more to discover. Just please, try to remember that men sometimes make good movies as well.